Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to VBA Beyond Basics. In the last series, which we named VBA for Everyone, we saw how to record macro, edit it, do logical decision making, play with cell values, cell formats. That was all you need to know how to program in VBA. In this series of lectures, we will be moving on from the basics and learn new VBA functions and tools. We will create a new customized Excel function. We will learn to use message box, input box, do while loop. This is in addition to for next loop. Then we will do logical decision making or selection with case select. Then we will change the file status. We will send email. We will control our application screen updating, which really helps execute long macros very quickly. It saves at least 50% of the time. Then we will display messages in the status bar. Then we will hide the Excel application itself. Then we will, through the code, change images in our workbook. We will also handle the errors and the alerts that arise automatically while using VBA or Excel. So we can control that also. We will look at that also. Then we will talk about form controls. This we will cover today in this video. Then ActiveX controls. Then we will program the events. We will talk about what are the events and how to program them. Then reference library, how this library features help us expand Excel capabilities like controlling files, creating zip files, creating folders, deleting folders, all within VBA. We will make Excel to create new folders. Then we will learn about how to create auto backups, export PDF reports, what are user forms and how to use them, how to use controls within user forms, what is public versus private codes, and how to declare the variables. So these will be covered in these lectures. If you find these videos tutorials, like these videos, and if you have some questions, leave your comments. I will answer your comments. Let's go to today's agenda, that is form controls. So here is our developer menu. In the developer menu, we have so far covered in the last videos, that was the VBA for Everyone series. We covered this part, the Visual Basic Editor, how to record run macros. We talked about macro security. You can use this relative reference so that when you record a macro, the reference is recorded with the offset command instead of directly referring to B7, B8, B9. When you use relative references while recording your macro, this will record with the offset command. You can try this. Okay, we covered this code section in our last series. Now we are going to talk about this control section, in which we have this design mode, properties, and view code. These three are related with ActiveX controls. We will talk about ActiveX control in our upcoming videos. This run dialog This relates to old, this is compatible for compatibility with old versions. I think it was Excel 95 or 97 which had these dialogues, but now we talk about user forms. So we will cover user forms, but we will not talk about these dialogues because these have been replaced long time ago. In this insert section, that is a briefcase with a spanner or and a screwdriver, I think. If we click on this arrow, we get two sections. One is form controls, the other is ActiveX controls. Form controls were present till Excel 97 and then came the ActiveX controls. I recall it was Excel 2003. Today we will talk about form controls, and in upcoming videos we will move from form controls to ActiveX controls. So in form controls, what we have is the first is the button, then we have combo box, then we have checkbox, then we have spin button, list box, group box for the timing. We will not be using it, then label, and then scroll bar. So these are the controls we will talk about in this video, or if this video will be getting long, I will split this video into two parts. So let's start with the button. Insert. Let me show you my mouse. Let me move this a bit, and here comes my mouse. Okay, so this is the button. I am just clicking, uh, clicked on this button, and then I moved my mouse on the sheet. So once my mouse is on the sheet, you can see this small plus button, plus shape arrow. This means this right now the Excel is ready to accept a draw, or I am ready to draw. So by holding the left button, clicking and holding the left button, left mouse button, I can draw what? A button. But right now Excel is asking me, should I want to assign a macro? For the time being, let's cancel this. And here goes our button. So this is the button. I can resize it and I can place it anywhere I want. Let's delete this button and insert, go again to insert and draw a new button. By left clicking and dragging, I can have a new button. And let's talk about this window that appears every time I draw a button. Assign macro, and here are the macros that are already present in this workbook. So let's choose V option sheet and say OK. Here comes my button. If I right click on my button, the options are cut, copy, edit text, grouping, order, assign macro, and format control. I can assign a macro from this menu, right click menu also, and I can change an assigned macro from here too. So let me show you what macros are already present in this workbook. Here they come. This is the recorded macro with use of relative reference. You can see here there is a offset 2.2, from range A1. So this is how uh, relative reference are recorded if they are enabled. So let's get back to our button issue. So here we have two macros. The first one is V button sheet, the second is V option sheet. These are the names with the V, but what are the commands? The first one says the, the first one says sheets button label one label dot select. The second one says sheets option check dot select. So what is this? Let's go and check out name of our sheets. If I can push it, yeah, now you can see. So uh, my first sheet name is button label, second is spin scroll, third is option check, and the fourth one is list combo. Let me get my sheet back. Now we can see. Let's go back and see, have a look at our macros. So what these macro will do, they will just change my sheet. Like I switch to from sheet 1 to sheet 2 by clicking on at the bottom, uh, by just clicking at the bottom. When I click at the bottom and switch my sheet, this is the command that get recorded. Okay, so these are simple commands. So if I assign button tool, right click, assign macro, option sheet. Okay, so once I have to click on my sheet, then the button is ready to be pushed or executed. So I'm clicking on my button tool and you can see instantly the macro run and I switch to option check sheet. So in option check sheet, I again insert a button and assign V button sheet, which, which is the first sheet macro. So clicking on this button, I instantly come back to my button label sheet. Alright, so next step is right click on the button and look what we have in the format control, the last option. If I go to format control, what I find is, yeah, I I see many tabs. The first tab changes the font, so maybe I can have my Verdana, the font I like the most, and maybe I can have 22 font, and maybe I can have the blue color or even the red color or the maroon color, whatever color I like, and I say okay. So here you can see that the font on the button changes. What if I want to edit it? Just click here. When the cursor changes to, if I am in the select mode, then I can click here and edit the text, or right click and edit text. So I can type here, go to option sheet. Oh, here we go. Okay, I have some text of my own. Right click, format control. What what else I can do? You can see there's an option of alignment, size, then protection, then in properties, should the button resize automatically when the cell size changes or not. Then there are margins for the text, then there's alt text. So primarily I can change the font on the button, right? Let's say okay. Let's go to option sheet. Let's change text here to go back home, and I want the font to change again. Go to format control. Let's give it Verdana again, and let the color be red. Let it be bold, let it be 18, and italic, bold italic. Okay, should we underline? Let's double underline. Okay, here we go. So our this button is again customized too. So we go back home and we go to option check sheet. So this was the button, but there is one more thing which I like to share. If you recall, in the last series of the videos, which was VBA for everyone, uh, the last case study or the assignment where we moved Mr. Ahmed from home to office and back to home, there was this button on which I was clicking and the car started moving. On the button there was a car. So how to put a shape on the button? So for this we need to go and call an application called character map. So Windows has a built-in application that is called character map. If I click on the Windows icon and I start typing CHAR, uh, I'm sorry you can't see this, uh, but what I have done is I just click on the Windows icon and typed CHAR and the character map application appears. I clicked on and the window is appearing. That is on my other screen. Let me drag it in front of you. So this is the character map application, and you can see there are a lot of icons or pictures, and if you click on this blue drop down menu, you can see that this is the list of all the fonts that are installed in this system. So by default there are four fonts. One is Webdings, second is Wingdings, third is Wingdings 2, and the fourth is Wingdings 3. These four fonts have shapes instead of alphabetic characters. So you can use these shapes instead of your normal text. For example, uh, let's say I want to have what? Let's say from Webdings I want to have this um, classes. Okay, so I would once click on any shape or this mask, whatever I want, I just click on that shape and then press this select, and then I select copy. You can type this OX25 character code through your keyboard, but it's difficult to do it. Simple way is just copy and come back to your button, right click, edit text, delete this text and say Control V, and boom, you go. You have got your figure, but you can't see. Why? There is a percent sign, but you cannot see your image or figure or icon. Why? Because that's a font. You have to change your font. So you need to go to Format Control, and from here you should choose, that was Webdings, and the colors say, just say OK, and here you go. You have your trophy. Right click, Format Control. Let's make it a bit bigger, say 48, and here is our shape. Click, go to this one. Let's recall our character map and let's give this a, another icon. Let's say this, correct, the home. I'm selecting this, copying this, and edit text, delete, Control V, it's a H, right click, change your font, and this will be 78 regular. Okay, so here is our home. Right click and we go back to our home. So this is how the characters or the shape on your button is changed. So it's already 20 minutes, and let's talk about one more form control, and that is label. I'm just clicking on the label. Again, I have the same plus sign, clicking and dragging to draw it, and here comes our label 3. Okay, right click, edit text. This is my new label, hello world. So I have typed 3 lines with some gaps, and if I click on the sheet, here is my label. I can place it by dragging anywhere. Uh, if I right click, you can see I can assign a macro to. So whenever I click on this label, a macro runs. And this one also has format control. If I go to format control, uh, I can change size, height, width. There's something to do with protection and some properties with the movement, and there's some alternate text, but there is no font or format setting. So if I cancel and if I look at this new format menu that has been added, I cannot see uh, anywhere to the way to change my font. If I go to home, even this section, the font section, is not available. So with the button you can change your font, but with the label, insert on the second line, the second option, the label, you cannot change your font. So what is the benefit of having it? Can you think of any benefit? Let me add it. Let me show you how I used it. If I remove all the text, where is my label? I can't see my label. But if I move my mouse, as soon as my mouse moves over my label, which is transparent, I can't see, it changes its icon, and I can identify that there is a label. You have already seen using me this label. Can you guess? In the first video of VBA for everyone, when I showed you the game tic-tac-toe, did you recall what I was doing? I was clicking on the cell and cell's color was changing. Okay, so now you understand it was not the cell, it was the label I was clicking on, and there was no text, so you can't see the label, and there was a macro assigned to that label. So when I clicked on that label, a macro ran and changed the cell color. So I use this label like this. So maybe you can come up with some other bright idea how to use this label. So far we have talked about the button and the label. I am going to stop this video now so that we can uh, talk about the rest of the form controls in our next video, and this is already 24 minutes, so see you in next video.